Unit 4, Fingerprints. Section 2, the fundamentals of prints. First up are the different types of prints. This is not just fingerprints, but any type of print. There are three general types, plastic, visible, and latent. Plastic print is going to be found molded or indented into another substance. Soap, wax, gum. You can even find, like, for example, shoe prints in mud or clay, even in snow. You're going to leave a plastic impression. Visible prints, it's going to be, for example, if you get blood on your hand and then you touch another surface, that is going to be a transfer print. Those are going to be visible to the naked eye. The third type, and this is the type that we're going to be talking about most here, is going to be latent prints. Latent prints are invisible, and they are the result of deposits of oil. So, obviously, being greasy, being oily, our skin can actually leave a residue behind. In order to get these types of prints, you have to dust for them. That's the only way to effectively retrieve these. We actually do have a couple other chemical tests that we can do, but those are, we'll talk about those a little bit later. So dusting is going to be the primary method of retrieval. So there are also two different types of prints, surfaces that prints can be left upon, porous and non-porous. A pore, if you think of like the like pores in your face, they're small little holes in the face. Similarly, a porous surface is going to have small holes, small imperfections. Paper or fabric are going to be examples of porous material. And then non-porous is going to be things like glass, plastic, the surface of a desk or a table, metal, anything like that that is going to be very, very smooth. Obviously, of the two types of these, it would be best to get a print from a non-porous material, a non-porous surface, because obviously that's going to be the best transfer of a print. So usually in this case we're talking about latent prints, sometimes visible prints as well. Collecting prints. Couple ways to do it. We can record prints. This is also called inking prints. Well, we're going to work on that first. Is going to be rolling an inked print onto a piece of paper or an identification card, and then actually being able to calculate what's known as the primary identification number, which is going to be kind of a numerical value given to the actual general types of prints that are going to be found on the hand. You can lift prints, so this is going to be oftentimes with powder or with chemicals. Different types of powders. There's a black, white, and then a fluorescent powder. This depends on the surface that you're lifting off of. If you're on a black surface, you're not going to want to use a black powder, obviously, because you're going to have difficulty seeing the print. So you want to use something that is opposed to the surface you're working on. Different chemicals we can use: anhydride, iodine, silver nitrate, cyanoacrylate, which is this one is super glue fuming, super toxic. But these are all ways to get prints off different surfaces, and we will talk about that later. We'll also talk about other types of prints. Obviously, you can't collect, an eye print the same way as you can get a fingerprint. But these are all other viable forms of prints that are going to be used as different forms of identification. Obviously, except for an eye, most of these other, all these other ones can be found at, and voice, obviously, can be found at a crime scene. I guess you can find a voice at a crime scene if there's a voicemail message or something like that. Usually you're not going to find an eye print at a crime scene, unless you find the eyeball, in which case it's going to be pretty easy to find the person that one came from. And finally, some of the basics about fingerprints, as we're going to kind of focus in on that. Fingerprint is an individual characteristic, so this is going to be unique to one single specific person. It is unchanged over the course of a lifetime. This is generally understood that about 4 months prenatal is when the fingerprint develops, and then from that point on, the fingerprint will remain unchanged over the course of an individual's life. Obviously, you can manipulate those fingerprints. You can burn them, damage them. You can get scars, but the print pattern itself will never change, and you will never find that same print on another person. Fingerprints do have what's known as a general characteristic of ridge patterns, and we're going to talk the specific types of ridge patterns called minutia, and that's going to be what is going to allow you to actually classify these prints not only the general ridge characteristics, but then also those minutiae, those really little details about a fingerprint and where those are located in respect to one another is going to help you identify those as well.